Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Avir Maiti Rudrayate Dakshinam Mukham Te Namam Pahi Nityam Te Namam Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. O Lord, guide us through and through, and ever protect us with thy loving presence. Om, peace, peace, peace to all beings everywhere. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Swami Hari Namananda. I'm the resident minister in the San Diego Vedanta Society. And for those that don't know, San Diego is in California. Do you know what San Diego stands for? There's a Swami who passed away, had his Mahasamadhi in San Diego. And his name was Swami Chinmayananda. Have you heard of him? Nod your heads if you have. Okay. He passed away in San Diego, and his devotees have said San Diego means San Diego, San Die Ego, where the ego dies and you become saint. Ego dies, you become a saint. That's San Die Ego. So they consider San Diego to be the Varanasi of USA. Where in Varanasi, if you pass away, supposedly in India, you'll get mukti. So we think here is the place where you get mukti. That's according to them. So anyways, I want to thank everyone for coming here today. I'm very excited because today we're going to talk about a retreat, upcoming retreat in the year 2024 in June. So let me just give you a little bit of a background. We're doing a retreat to serve a few purposes. One of the purposes we wanted in this retreat was to have a retreat where a lot of people can come together, a lot of devotees from the Vedanta and spiritual traditions. We wanted a place where people can come together and meet as a big sangha to create, share in our journeys and share in our love for Vedanta and spiritual life. So we found a place up in Asilomar, which is in Northern California, which is right next to the ocean, and where we can host a little bit more than 200 people. And that would create a sense of we want a community, this Vedantic community, spiritual community. So a place where we can all come together, share ideas, and meet each other, and talk about, what it's like to be from different parts of the country and world. How does spiritual life lend itself? Where do we come from? So we just to share in our own journeys. So this is one thing, a national Vedantic community. The other thing we wanted to do is we wanted a spiritual retreat, which would be more about practices as opposed to just talks and lectures. There's so many Sunday events or Saturday events where you go over the talks, even retreats themselves. You'll find, usually you'll hear Swami Sarvapriyananda give 1 or 2, 3 lectures, and it's practice. I wanted a retreat specifically for practice. We're going to get some theory, but the emphasis is on practice. So I've asked our different speakers to formulate such a sadhana, what type of practices we can take home, what kind of practices we can use and develop. And so this was the idea. Practices and creating a community. So all of that has lent itself to a place where we thought was best, was up in Asilomar Conference Grounds in Northern California. This retreat, as you know, is going to be from June 6 to June 10. And what I'd like to do right now is sort of take you on that retreat, what we're proposing, what we're hoping to propose, and sort of take you through what we're going to go through, the steps and plans for the retreat, and then go into the website and how to register for the retreat. And then if you have any questions afterwards, we'll take any questions, all right? So we're hoping then to start registration after the end of this. The link will be open, and if you'd like to register, you can register at that time. So let's go ahead and let me share my screen here, and let's actually get into this, I believe. Okay. All right. Okay. So as you can hear, the shared screen, the retreat. Jess? Yes? You can see it? Yeah, okay, thumbs up.
Yeah,
okay,
we
great.
see it, Maharaj.
All right. So when you go to the Vedanta Life Academy website, you'll come into the academy.com and just go below, and you'll see here practices for experiencing the divine within and with others, a sadhana-oriented retreat. So this is sponsored by both our Vedanta Society of Southern California and also our Vedanta Life Academy. And you may think, what does eyes open, eyes shut means? It means we want to do practices both, where we can experience the divine when we have our eyes shut in meditation, and also how to experience the divine when we have eyes open, when seeing every one of us, when interacting with all of us. How do we experience the divine with eyes open? How do we see everyone as expressions of the divine presence? All right, so here, then when you go into it, for more information, click on there, and you'll go into this website over here. All right, so as we said here, the retreat's from June 6th to June 10th at the Asilomar Conference Grounds in Northern California. And we'll go through kind of like everything here. So these are the registration notes we just wanted to bring up. Here, basically, Asilomar Conference Grounds, we went through the process of trying to find different retreat areas. And we were trying to find areas that were kind of like lower in cost. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a place that was big enough or was available. So all of this lent us to Asilomar Resort Center, which is actually a beautiful resort center. And it is like what we said, off the ocean. And so it's got these nice grounds where we can meditate, where we can do yoga, and it's got a place where we can host enough people in different halls. That was important also. So the retreat center is expensive for Vedantic people. So the total cost of the retreat you'll see is $1,624.12 for one person in a single room. The idea is if you want to share one room, there is going to be the cost will be two people can stay together in one room, but the cost per person will be $1,187.08. All right. So that is for the entire retreat, including everything, which means the retreat, your meals, the speakers, everything. That's the total price that's being paid. Now, we wanted to break down kind of like what actually is coming to us to help pay for the retreat and what's going to Asilomar. So out of this total expense, the actual price coming for us is we're charging a $295 retreat fee to pay for the expenses or the traveling expenses. We have to pay for the rooms of each speakers, from Divyanadaprana to all the other speakers. And then there's a processing fee that is charged by the hotel as well. This is not our processing fee. When you sign up, you'll register with them. They will take care of your registration. So with them directly, and they're charging $20 for that. And just what this includes basically is the retreat will start on the afternoon of June 6th. So in time, I believe is p.m. or later. And so you'll check in 4 p.m. or later. I think we'll go through the retreat, but basically it includes the meals. They have water stations just if you require more snacks, tea and other things. And the cancellation policy is that Asilomar will give a full refund for anybody that cancels by May 6th. If you cancel after May 6th, they will not refund you. That's that they just will not refund you. Okay. The Vedanta Society, since we're charging a $295 registration fee, we will refund you no matter what. Okay. And, is correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so there's $100 if you cancel after you sign up. There's still $100 per person charge that Asilomar is charging you if you cancel. So that's before May 6th. After May 6th, you don't get any money back at all from them. All right. So again, you have a single room, which is this is the cost. You can book a shared room where you pay in one lump sum, and that the total cost will be $2,374, which is again is $1,187 per person. All right. And also, what Asilomar is allowing us to do is, if you want to share a room but you don't have a roommate, so what you can do is you can actually, or if you have you have a roommate but you want to pay separately. So Asilomar is also allowing you to do this as well. And what that means is at the time of registering, you're going to fill in, and we'll show you how to do this. And then you'll fill in that I have a roommate. You'll put the name of the person also that you want to share with, and then you guys will be paying each, again, this amount of money, which is the $1,187 per person. You'll charge it on 2 different cards. Okay. Now, important. Asilomar is going to support the registration aspect of signing up for the hotel. So if you have any questions regarding signing up for the hotel, call them. This is not our responsibility. That's why they're taking a $20 processing fee. They're handling the burden of this. So the person is Mia Ortiz at this email, or you can call them, and this is their hours of operation. So if you have any problems with the website, call them. If you have any questions about anything about payments, call them. Anything that has to do with registration, payments, call them. All right. Now, the other retreat itself, about just anything else besides the registration of the hotel, you can email us, and you'll see Tejas. Tejas, you want to say hi? Tejas, hi Tejas. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Oh, maybe she's shy, but I'll introduce her again maybe later on at the end here. All right, so now what is the agenda for this retreat here? Well, so far, the idea is that we're all going to check in sometime between 4 to 5:30. I forget the exact time of supper. As we get closer to the date, we'll give you a more detailed agenda. But the idea is that there'll be dinner, and then we'll have a introduction and orientation to the speakers and to the overview of what is going to happen. All right. That's Thursday. Then Friday, we'll have basically we'll have a morning session, which will involve meditation, yoga. One of our prime teachers is Carolyn Belko from the Iyengar Yoga, who studied with Mr. Iyengar for many years. She'll be our primary teacher. There'll be breakfast, and we're hoping to do meditations on the ocean bank, on the ocean shore itself. We're getting permits to be able to meditate with one of our guided speakers. So each morning and maybe each evening, we're going to have guided meditations, hopefully on the beach itself with one of our main speakers. All right, so meditation, and then mid-morning. So basically mid-morning, again, we'll get more detail, but it says something from 10 to 12, or 9 to 11:30, we'll figure that out. We'll have our main speakers. The idea, don't hold me to this, but let me tell you my idea. My idea is that I would love to have each of the main speakers speak in each of the sessions. So maybe even do a 30 to 35-minute session on a practice, on the different practices. We'll talk about that. So that's the idea, is each speaker will speak in the mid-morning and then in the afternoon. So by the time they're finished, there should have been 5 sessions should have been done by each speaker. Noon, they'll have lunch, and then between lunch and afternoon, we also have sort of we're going to have breakout rooms. So in these breakout rooms, we may have other panel speakers, maybe talking about Ayurveda, lifestyle. We're going to have spiritual discussions. We're going to have breakout groups. So we're going to ask you questions, and you'll get together in these breakout rooms to discuss these things. Again, we'll have afternoon session with the main speakers. And in the evening, then the idea here is that we actually rented another area, which is going to be for like homofire. I've asked Swami Atmarupananda to conduct maybe 1 or 2 homofires, depending on how many people we can fit, where we can all participate in this ritual, in the homofire of releasing our emotions, our kleshas into the fire itself. And then supper, and then what I'm calling in the evening is a Vedantic discovery session. So at this point, we may have a kirtan group going on. We may, one of the things that I love doing is interviewing the different swamis about their lives, different swamis or pravajikas, about their lives, how they came to Vedanta. A life inspires life session. So we may have different speakers at different days doing this. And basically, this is the general agenda. Saturday, same thing, with morning sessions, mid-morning sessions, afternoon sessions, and breakout rooms and evenings. So this will be the same formula we'll follow through. And then on Monday, we have to check out by a certain time. I believe it's 10:30, where we have to leave our rooms. So we're going to have we'll have morning meditation, yoga, breakfast, and also then we'll have a closing summary and the speakers telling us what to do next. So we're hoping at the end of this retreat that you'll take away some practices from the different speakers that you can integrate into your lives. Now, the people who we have coming, I feel are like an all-star cast. So we have people, as you know, Swami Sarvapriyananda, and he's going to be speaking from the Jnana Marga approach, the path towards non-duality of Advaita Vedanta, of Jnana. And so his topic is centered in awareness, and this is what spiritual inquiry into the real nature of existence, awareness bliss, techniques of self-inquiry, and non-dual meditation will be taught. All right. Swami Sarvapriyananda. We have also a professor who I took at Harvard Divinity School, who I thought was amazing, Chris Berlin, who is a Buddhist, comes from the Buddhist side, and really has a grasp not only of Buddhism, but also of Vedanta. He actually studied Vedanta in the university. In fact, if he's here, I'd like to have him. Do we have him up there? Subir, do you see Chris?
I'm checking.
Check for him if he's there. Okay. So he's an amazing speaker. And what I like about Chris is he's going to bring more of the path of, I really think more of this is about more karma yoga. How does is a chaplain. He works in hospitals. He's got an amazing way of being able to understand people's needs and really truly empathetic. So he's going to talk to us about how, as I said, in suffering, how to have practical wisdom. He deals a lot with psychology. So if he gets a chance, we'll have him talk a little bit about what he's going to be talking about. All right. Chris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Nice to be here with you all. Hello.
Hello, Chris. This is Chris Berlin. He's our wonderful instructor, professor in Harvard University, and He's an amazing kirtan singer. He's going to be singing kirtans for us also. We're going to the kirtan band. So we're really privileged to have him. He's given amazing retreats in Buddhism, and he's just a great blend of bhakti and jnana. I can't and
Oh,
karma. He's just an amazing.
thank you. Oh, what man, what an introduction. Well, thank you. I hope to be worthy of that introduction. Yeah, it's great to be with you all. I'm really excited to come, and that is my homeland, actually. I'm a California boy, so I'm looking forward to joining you all there on the coast. Um, yeah, I think Swami, you already covered it quite a bit, but also I think looking at the correspondence of non-duality with the Vajrayana, which is my home. I'm a lay teacher in Vajrayana tradition, and really arrived there through the non-duality of some of the Advaita Vedanta teachings when I was much younger. So I very much value and hold sacred both traditions, and how I've then applied them also to my own work as a hospital chaplain in an oncology hospital here in Boston, and doing end of life care work. We're not going to talk probably so much about that, but more the spirit of, from a Lojong standpoint in Vajrayana, how do we take difficulties onto the path and continue to practice in such a way that we can metabolize the suffering aspects of being part of being steeped in samsara. So yes, I maybe we'll do some Tonglen, some compassion meditations. Um, yeah, that's about all I can say for now, since I'm still working out what I'm going to be doing along with Swami. So it's good to see you.
Thank, thank you, Chris, so much. And Chris is an amazing kirtan singer. So we're going to join him up with some of our other kirtan singers, and he's going to come along. He's going to lead us in kirtan. So it's going to be an incredible experience. So we
Thank
hope,
you.
where I told Chris to make simple kirtans, we're going to do call and response. So we're looking forward to that as well. Thank you, Chris. All right, let me go back to our screen here. And all right. Okay, um, so as you know, Pravajika Divinanda Pranaji will be coming. She'll be speaking about the psychological aspects of spiritual life from the yoga psychology. All right, and if you don't know her, she's just an amazing nun in India, in New Delhi, and so we're gifted with her presence uh, this time. And we have Swami Atmarupananda, who is a minister in France, academies. He's really a good combination of bhakti and jnana. And he's going to be talking about, is God itself, the reality itself, can it be hidden? It can't be hidden. It shines through our experiences even now. We can learn to get experiential glimpses that bring living faith and practical direction through love and knowledge. And when I asked Swami, when I emphasized, I asked him, can you speak really a little bit about more of the bhakti tradition in your talk? Because my hope is this. We wanted to cover the four major yogas, with Sarvaprinanda covering more the jnana philosophy, with Divinanda Prana talking about yoga, Raja Yoga, with Swami Atmarupananda speaking a little bit about the bhakti, and also Chris talking about more of the karma, the engagement. They're all going to bleed into each other. But through this process, we hope to get exercises that will cover these four major yoga processes. And lastly, we're going to be also gifted by Swami Sarvadevananda's presence. For those that don't know, Swami Sarvadevananda is one of our senior swamis in the United States. He is a motherly presence. I hope to interview him to really tap into his life and his inspiration for joining and what keeps him going now that he's almost 80, I believe 81 years, or 80 or 81. And just a remarkable, just motherly type of soul. And I think his presence is just going to enliven everything. So we're so gifted to have him. He is the head of our Vedanta Society of Southern California and travels all over the United States. So that is it for there. Now I just want to take you into briefly the registration site itself, which is over here. So when you go into Vedanta Life Academy, at the end, you're going to see that there'll be links to registration. You'll see, we'll have it open by the time, shortly after this seminar ends. And then you'll see these links here. You can tap in the link. And the link will take you into this site itself. All right. So in this site, this is the Vedanta. This is how you actually register for the retreat. You're going to find here when you come up here, it's going to say 3 options. 1 person in a room with 1 payment, 2 people in a room with 1 payment, shared with the room, separate payments. So for example, if you're 1 person signing up for a single room, you make a reservation like this. It takes you. All right, very good. So you have to hit accept all cookies. And then when you check in, there's only 1 check-in. You have to hit June 6. You can't check in June 7, June 8. It won't allow that. So you check in June 6, then you check out June 10, right? 1 room, that's 1 room. And when it says 1 guest, it means 1 guest means it's just 1 person. That's just the process here. And then it will ask you to, where am I? Okay. Then it says search. So you hit search button. Then it goes here and it's going to tell you, this is the cost per day. So it's just multiplied by 4. 1 room, 1 guest. Okay, you select that. Then it takes you to here. Now they're very good about meals. So because we'll be eating in a cafeteria, dining room there. So if you don't select any of these meals, vegetarian meals, vegan meals, or gluten-free meals, you'll be given the standard meal, which is a non-veg meal. All right. So if you're vegetarian or anything else, just select which is appropriate to you. And then you just hit here next. So this is your total cost here. And then you hit next. And then it just takes you here, summarizes everything. So you check in by 4 p.m. Thursday. I believe you leave by about 10:30 or 11 o'clock on Sunday. You check out. And then you go here.
The checkout's on Monday, Maharaj, not Sunday.
Monday.
The checkout's on 10:30, 11 in the morning.
Monday, yes, Monday. And then you hit next and fill out all the details here. All right, and then yes, and that's about it. All right, so at this point, I think we've covered most everything. I'd like to ask, are there any questions at this point? Covered a little bit of material. Here's your chance to ask anything you want. Okay, I see Shivani has raised her hand. And if you want, you know how to raise your hand in the Zoom? You go to reactions, just to let you know. Go to reactions and hit, it says recognize hand gesture. Just hit that, okay? So Shivani, where did you go? Did we lose you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, Shivani, go ahead and unmute.
I was waiting to be unmuted. Maharaj, one question I had is, I don't really do yoga. So what happens to people who have not done yoga but would like to try? Ashtanga sounds very difficult. What happens about that? I might be the only one asking this question, but that was
right. Let me see. Is Carolyn Belko here? Let me just see. Do you see Carolyn?
Yes.
Oh, there's Namaste, Carolyn. So Carolyn is our yoga instructor. Carolyn, can you tell a little bit about just your practice, where you study, just a little bit about yourself?
Sure, Swami. So the way that I teach, thanks to the teachings that I learned with Yogacharya B.K.S. Iyengar, it's Iyengar, not Ashtanga, is that we provide yoga accessibility to all. So recently, I would say maybe 4 or 5 retreats. I've worked with Swami in Vedanta, Southern California, or once in Arizona. And what we do is take some of the concepts of the teaching and observe them in the practice of the yoga sometimes pranayama and meditation. So we have different for everyone to be able to practice, so it's accessible. And you should have no fear, because we're going to have and use our embodiment as a tool to go beyond that. So that's the main way that we would go about it. I also have a lot of experience working with people who have had issues or injuries in therapeutics yoga. I really try to make it so everyone will have an experience of the practice.
And Carolyn, how many years have you been studying with Mr. Iyengar? Just your background there?
I started studying in 1989 and continue till today. He is not on this realm, but I studied regularly in India with him, and also whenever he came to the West. So I would go to India as much as I could, like every other year, to study with him for about 16 times. So, and then also thanks to all those travels to India, it brought me also to Sri Ramakrishna.
Thank you, Carolyn. She's our longtime devotee here in San Diego, a disciple of Swami Atmasanandaji Maharaj, and a very avid sadhaka. Thank you, Carolyn. All right, so Lali, would you like to unmute?
Namaste, Maharaj.
Namaste.
Just the question was, just in case you like sign up for two people, is it possible, do you know, to change if for whatever reason, if the other person can't make it, to just bring another person in?
It's a good question. I would assume so. That's a good question to ask when you're the registration. We didn't ask that question, but I would assume so. I wouldn't see any problem by just changing another person. So, but I would just call that 800 number and ask them. But I would not think shouldn't be any difficulty with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Trupati?
Yeah, Namaskar, Swami. My question is just to confirm my understanding. The fees of total fees is 1,600 for single person, and that is the final means total amount we have to pay, right? And this 295 and $20 processing fee is included into that 1,624. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Paramar, do you want to just say a little bit about where they come in, where just the traveling wise? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So Monterey is in Northern California. So if you're coming from Los Angeles, you can fly from LAX direct to Monterey Airport. If you're coming from San Diego, you can fly from San Diego direct to Monterey Airport. If you are coming from another area, you can fly into San Jose Airport. Monterey Airport is a very small airport, so they only do like short flights, right? Smaller planes. If you come into Monterey Airport, once you're there, you just grab an Uber. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but it's only a 10-15 minute drive from Monterey Airport to Asilomar. If you fly into San Jose Airport, then it's about an hour or so, maybe hour and a half at the most drive. There are transports that you can grab. You can make reservations in advance with the various transport services that'll drive you right there. You can get a round trip ticket if you want, or a one-way ticket, either way. Or you could grab an Uber, whatever is best for you. If you're driving, you can, if you're coming from, depending where you're coming from in LA, you can come up the 101 since it's on the coast. It's a nice, beautiful drive up the coast. Not necessarily going on the 1, just stay on the 101, because if you go on the 1, you're going to get really windy roads and it's a little more, it takes a lot more time. But just stay on the 101, and then you get over where Salinas is. And then it's about, I can get there in about 4.5 to 5 hours in a drive.
From LA.
Yeah, from LA. Yeah. So that's it. It's a pretty easy place to get to. And it's really beautiful. It's like where the mountains meet the sea. So you've got the beautiful pine trees of the forest, and then you've got the ocean right there. It's just gorgeous. It's going to be a real retreat. This isn't like a conference. This is a retreat.
Thank you, Paramar. Mohanta? Sam. Oh, Samaresh. Hi. Namaste. Hello, guys.
Pranam Maharaj,
So nice to see you.
after a long time. So
Yes.
I'll be brief here because there's a lot of people. So we are very excited to see this, and we attended a seminar in San Diego about 4 years back over the weekend. Is this going to be in the similar fashion, expanded version of that?
I forget exactly, but it's probably something like that. But this one will be a little bit more because we have the privilege of using this retreat center, which is much bigger, much more spacious. So our hope is to have more interaction with the devotees. You know, when we have these group discussions, and just even dining, having people mix together and really get more assimilated, meet people from different places all over the world. And and more practice oriented. So remember I said we wanted practices, so that's what we're emphasizing here, is to have more. So in other words, they will lead us in different practices. Okay?
Thank you. Well, I highly recommend this because I was there last time and it was a very useful for us. So I highly recommend.
Okay, thank you.
We miss you, Maharaj. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Miss you. And I'm excited to hear that there will be kirtans and all that too. That was missing in last time.
Yes,
I'll
exactly.
talk to you separately on that.
Okay, sounds
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sahi, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, Namaste Swami. I was at the website right now, and do I start at the courses to register? Because I know you said it's not open yet to registration for this retreat. So maybe I missed the beginning when you walked us through. So at the Vedanta, at the main website, I see the flyer, and then the only options right now is courses to register. So is that where it will show up? That's all, once it's open.
Maharaj,
So,
I can take that question.
Yeah.
Yes, so where you see click here for more information, the link will be there as well. And then if you go into click into that, you'll see the page that Maharaj was going through with all the details. There'll be links in there as well for registration.
So right on the homepage?
It will also be there on the homepage.
Okay, because right now I understand that it's not open, and my other question was about, I guess somebody had addressed that, is I have a person to room with and we will pay separately, but anytime you cancel, it's still $100 charge per person, right?
That is correct.
Okay, that makes
all
sense.
charges are per person.
Okay, so would you advise us paying separately just in case if someone backs out? I don't want to back out and have my registration messed up. Is this a question for you or for the people at the retreat?
So yeah, you can speak to Asilomar as well. The only thing that I would want to add is that if you decide to just pay as a separately, then when you register, you can leave the name of the person in the remarks so that they will know who to assign to your room. Or if you leave it blank, then Silomar will at random assign
Oh no,
somebody.
I do have a person who
Right.
is
So
committed
if you
to
have, then
coming.
make sure you leave that person's name in the remarks when you register.
Oh, okay. So then they register separately too. I can't register for them. Is that correct?
You can register it together and you pay together. You can do it that way, or you each person register separately using the third option. Make sure each of you leave each other's names in the remark section.
Okay, got it. Finally. Sorry. Thank you very much for your patience. That is it for me.
Thank you. Sorry. Laura, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Swamiji. Thank you for
Laura,
this
so great.
informational session. My question is, at registration, are we required to pay in full the 1,600 at time of registration, or is there a deposit and then a payment later?
It's the full payment.
Full payment at registration.
Paramar, was that?
Okay. And what's the maximum number of folks that are going to be allowed to attend?
Well, the room where we're
Well,
seated is 190, but we can go a little bit over that. We can maybe go to 200. If we get over 200, we're going to have to move to a bigger room. So we have to see if that room is available at that time. So the sooner you register, the better.
Okay. Thank you. Blessings to all.
Thank you. Norm, go ahead.
The question is, I have a conflict. I would have to leave and not attend on Sunday into Monday. And I noticed in the registration process for Asilomar, it looked like it was a per day rate. Is it possible to attend this conference and be at Asilomar for a lesser number of days and pay less, or is it just it's a bundled package and you have no choice?
It is a bundled
sorry,
package.
sorry.
Unfortunately, there is no option to have a reduced rate. You have to register for the full session.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right. I don't think there's any other questions. So
There's
I
one
don't want
more
to keep
from
anybody
Anand
any
Maharaj.
longer. Go ahead. Go ahead, Anand. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes. Well, Pranam. Well, first of all, thank you for organizing this. I can see there's been a lot of thought and creativity and earnestness that has gone into this. As you pointed out or alluded to, there's many forums and channels available to experience some of this in a lecture format. But to be more participatory and more immersive, there are not many other avenues. And so thank you very much for doing this. My question is on if there is the possibility of opting out of some of these sessions. I have been to Monterey in this summer on the beach, which is very cold and windy. So while I'm excited about many things about the program, I'm just a tad bit less excited about meditating on the beach.
Sure. No, everything is voluntary. So you're not forced to go to anything you don't want to go to. So, there may be programs where if we have too many people, we may have to have different options going on. So, no, nothing, you're not required to, we're not going to cancel you out if you're not there. We're not going to call your name for like a roll call. So it's strictly whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. Well, I want to I think that's it. Nothing in the chat box, right, Subir?
Yes, that's all.
There is a few in the chat. Nothing we need to do about the chat?
Let me check.
Sometime for nature walk string. Okay, so let me just give you something. Yeah, so there's Anu writes, will there be some time for nature walks during the day so we can reflect and simulate? It's a good question. Yeah, we'll put that in my mind. And we haven't come up with the full retreat, but I know that Pravachika Divyananda Prana has told me she wants to lead a nature meditation walk. So any suggestions you have, you can put them up there. We haven't, completed this retreat yet, but yeah. So we hope to do something like that. To register, let me see anything else that. All right, so I think that's it. All right, so I want to thank everyone who's come. We hope to see you in Asilomar at June 6th. We hope it's going to be spectacular. I feel it's going to be really sort of a one-of-a-kind retreat. We're used to doing, we do a lot of retreats here in San Diego. So I love doing retreats because of what Anand said. It's an immersive experience. It's not about sitting passively. It's about actively being engaged in the practice itself, because ultimately we want to see how we can be transformed in these 4 days. Can we get, as Rupanand was talking about, a glimpse of something of the divine within these 4 days, and what can we take home from this? So we want to have practices where we can take home practice. Some people have said, hey, can we have a follow-up session sometime later on? Maybe we can work on doing something like that. But as for right now, this is something that we have this all-star cast, so we're excited and hopefully to come away with something that we can transform ourselves. So thank you so much, everyone.